My name is Sarah Mitchell. I'm the instructional coach at Lead Academy Charter School in Greenville, South Carolina.
My name is Benton. I am a second grade teacher here at Lead Academy. I have been teaching for 3 years now.
My name is Brenna Schneider. I'm the kindergarten teacher at Lead Academy, and I have been teaching kindergarten for 2 years.
When I first saw the skills block materials, I kind of thought, oh, that's nice. It's little stations that you run throughout the day. It is not stations. It is a highly intentional curriculum where a teacher is getting to really use their professional knowledge to sit down and say, I have this struggling student, or I have this really high achieving student. What do I need to do for this hour a day to really meet their needs?
They have activities intentionally planned specifically for them, and a lot of the activities are engaging and fun, and it keeps them self-managed in their rotations.
Everything in Skills Block is intentional. All the activities that we do really have a purpose behind them. It really boils down to the assessments that we do. Every activity that we choose is based on where a student is and the needs that they have based on their microphases.
Those microphases seem very real, and it's amazing how accurate they actually are. When it tells me that they specifically need to be working on long vowel sounds or beginning sounds, I noticed that when given a spelling assessment, those are the very things that are their weakness.
Once I understood where those students are supposed to be in those microphases, I became much more confident on what materials and what activities they needed to be doing in those small group times.
So one of the most powerful pieces of the curriculum comes out of Skills Block. It starts with the teacher individually assessing each student to find out their specific reading and decoding strengths and weaknesses. From there, the teacher will sit down and they'll take the assessment results and they'll have an assessment conversion chart that tells them, okay, based on these results, these are the exact skills that that student needs to be working on for this week in school. The teacher is able to take those ideas from the assessment conversion chart and design differentiated small group instruction.
Not only are there benchmark assessments in Skills Block, but there are also ongoing assessments as well. We use Snapshot assessments as well as cycle assessments. The Snapshot assessments actually happen almost every lesson. It's simple, it's a checklist.
So there's an activity bank of choices that a teacher can look at and say, well, here are some things that I can now implement in these differentiated small groups.
For word work rotations, there is a wonderful activity bank that EL's provided with a variety of games and activities. It gives specific ideas for meeting those students in their specific microphases. For one of my groups, I knew that beginning sounds and sound combinations was a little bit of a challenge for them, especially. So I gave them the sandwich game in which they were working on those beginning sounds. With some of my more advanced students that were kind of not in the consolidated phases of second grade, I went and watched a third grade teacher in her structure of the all block. And observed and took notes on the structure and the way that it was laid out.
Material management is very important in Skills Block. Once you make the games for the small groups, then you can reuse them, not only the next year, but also as the students move through those microphases. It does take a little bit of time getting those materials prepared. There is some cutting to be done, putting in baggies, making copies. I try to get that done a week in advance, so I am prepared for the next week, and I'm not trying to run around.
It took a lot of practice breaking down exactly what self-management means, setting up norms. My second graders seem to take pride and joy in the fact that they can manage themselves at such a young age, because that's not something that typically is expected of children their age.
I'm passionate about Skills Block because I am seeing the movement and the change in my students.
I have such a better understanding of what my students need, and I can support those students in that way.
There's just a great equity during this time.
So we just love the joy that it brings not only to our students, I love the joy and the excitement that it brings to teachers too. It's really neat that on a teacher's planning period, they're going to run down the hallway to tell me that they've reassessed this kid and they've grown 3 levels since their last benchmark assessment. So to see that joy in teachers again, that they're having fun teaching, they're having fun delivering really demanding, rigorous work to kids, and it's not drudgery. Like, we enjoy our school day, and the curriculum is to thank for that.